Today I'm reviewing the CyberPowerPC Gamer Master Gaming PC with an AMD Ryzen 7 8700F, NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5060T 8GB, 16GB DDR5, a 1TB C4.0 SSD, Wi-Fi ready ***, and Windows 11 Home. If you want to check current pricing or availability, it's linked below. I've had this system on my desk as my primary desktop for gaming, everyday use, and background workflows over the last few weeks, so what follows reflects real use, not just spec numbers. Let's set expectations clearly. This is not a premium enthusiast desktop built for extreme 4K or ultra-high refresh competitive margins without compromise. It's positioned as a solid mainstream gaming PC that handles current titles at 1080p very well and steps into 1440p with practical, predictable performance. In real gaming at 1080p, the mix of the Ryzen 7 8700F and RTX 5060T feels confident and dependable. Competitive titles like Valorant, Fortnite, and CS2 deliver smooth, stable frame rates on high settings without weird spikes or hiccups, which makes everyday play feel predictable. Heavy AAA games at 1080p also run comfortably on high settings, and if you push toward ultra visuals in those titles, you'll tweak a setting or two to keep motion smooth. That's a practical trade-off in this performance tier. At 1440p, the RTX 5060T still delivers playable performance on high settings. You might dial back a few visual knobs in very demanding releases, but the experience remains fluid rather than jerky or inconsistent. Consistency in real gaming matters more than peak numbers you see in isolated benchmarks. Everyday computing and multitasking feel responsive too. Switching between a few browsers, chat apps, music, and background utilities doesn't interrupt performance, it stays smooth. That's the kind of day-to-day responsiveness you notice more than you expect once you live with a system beyond isolated gaming tests. Thermals and noise are practical for this class of desktop. Under sustained gaming and heavier workloads, the cooling system keeps temperatures in a stable zone without letting things get out of control. Fans do spin up. This is a performance PC, and you notice them under load, but they stay consistent and avoid sudden spikes that pull your attention away from what you're doing. In lighter desktop use, acoustics settle down to a modest hum that stays in the background. Memory and storage behavior matter in everyday use. The 16GB of DDR5 clears the bar for modern gaming and multitasking today, though very heavy creative workflows or intense multitasking could benefit from moving to 32GB in the future. The 1TB C4.0 SSD boots Windows quickly and loads games without long wait times, though large libraries of big titles might push you toward adding storage down the road, a common situation with modern AAA game sizes. Build quality and usability are straightforward without unnecessary flash. The case has a clean, functional look, and internal space doesn't feel cramped. That makes upgrades, memory, storage, or even GPU down the road feel more approachable than in tightly packed pre-built designs. Now let's be honest about limitations. The RTX 5060T is capable in its tier, but it isn't aimed at chasing ultra-high frame rates at 4K without compromises. If your goal is very high refresh at higher resolutions with every graphical detail maxed, that's outside this configuration's design. This desktop is geared more towards steady performance at 1080p and practical performance at 1440p. Also, 16GB of RAM is fine for gaming and everyday use today, but heavy multitasking or creative workloads, video editing, big Photoshop projects, virtual machines, benefit noticeably from more memory. That's not a flaw, just a practical trade-off in this spec range. So who makes sense for this PC? If you want a capable 1080p gaming PC with stable performance, practical 1440p results without overtuned settings, responsive day-to-day multitasking, a desktop that's easy to upgrade later, this CyberPowerPC Gamer Master System delivers those priorities in a balanced way. If your chief goal is maximum performance at ultra settings or heavy creative workloads out of the box, systems with higher GPU tiers or more RAM may be worth evaluating. Check current pricing below and evaluate it against your needs.